The neon lights of the gas station flickered against the damp pavement. Midnight air carried the scent of gasoline and rain, a lonely hum of crickets breaking the silence. Daniel had stopped only to grab milk for his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, before heading home after a long day of construction work. But fate had other plans. As he stepped out of his dusty old pickup, his eyes caught sight of a girl. Young, trembling, with her hands wrapped around her swollen belly. She sat on the curb near the gas pumps, mascara streaks staining her cheeks, shoulders shaking from quiet sobs. For a moment, Daniel hesitated. Life had taught him to mind his business, especially after years of hiding the truth about being a single dad working under the radar, never letting people get too close. But there was something about her, fragile yet fierce, broken yet still trying to hold herself together, that pulled him in. "Hey," he said softly, careful not to startle her. "You okay?" The girl looked up, startled. Her eyes, sharp hazel filled with both defiance and pain, met his. She wiped her cheeks quickly, as if ashamed of her tears. "I'm fine," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Just lost." Daniel wasn't convinced. He had seen pain before. He knew what it meant to put on a mask, to tell the world you're okay when you're drowning inside. He crouched beside her, his rough work boots squeaking against the wet concrete. "You don't look fine. Do you need a ride? Or someone to talk to?" She looked at him suspiciously, clutching her belly protectively. Trust didn't come easy for her, and he could tell. "Why would a stranger care?" she asked bitterly. Daniel thought about Lily, about how someday she might be in a situation like this. His heart clenched. "Because," he said simply, "sometimes strangers are the only ones left who do." That night became the turning point neither of them expected. Her name was Sophia. She was 7 months pregnant, and as Daniel learned over coffee at the all-night diner down the street, she had just walked out on her fiancé after discovering he had betrayed her in the cruelest way. With no family close by, she had been sitting at the gas station, not knowing where to go or what to do. Daniel listened, really listened, something few had ever done for her. He didn't judge, didn't pry, didn't treat her like she was weak. Instead, he offered her a warm meal and the kind of gentle understanding only someone who had been through storms could give. What Daniel didn't know, and what Sophia carefully hid, was that she wasn't just any young woman. She was the CEO of a fast, rising tech company, a millionaire who had built her empire through grit and late nights. But money couldn't shield her from heartbreak. Her pregnancy had made her more vulnerable than she ever imagined, and in that diner booth, she chose to keep her identity a secret. She wanted to be seen as just a girl, a human being, not a brand, not a success story. Daniel, too, had secrets. Years ago, when his wife abandoned him and Lily, he disappeared from the world he once knew. To protect his daughter and escape debts, he took odd jobs under different names, blending into the shadows. An undercover single dad, a man who survived by working hard, keeping his head down and never letting anyone close enough to hurt him. 2 broken souls, one hiding from the world, the other hiding in plain sight, had collided in the most unexpected way. Over the weeks that followed, Sophia and Daniel's paths intertwined. Daniel offered her his guest room, a safe space where she could rest until she figured out her next steps. Lily adored her immediately, sensing her kindness. For Sophia, the sound of Lily's laughter was healing. It reminded her of innocence, of a love that asked for nothing in return. But challenges arose quickly. Sophia's health was fragile, and there were days Daniel rushed her to the doctor, praying both she and the baby would be okay. Meanwhile, bills piled up, and Daniel's construction work barely covered rent. He didn't know Sophia had the power to write a check that could solve his problems in seconds. But she never revealed it. She wanted to stand beside him, not above him. And then there was trust. Both carried scars that made opening up difficult. Daniel feared letting anyone close enough to discover his past. Sophia feared being loved for her money, not for who she truly was. Every tender moment between them carried unspoken questions. Would you still care if you knew the truth about me? To the breaking point came one stormy night. Daniel returned home from work to find Sophia collapsed on the kitchen floor, clutching her belly in pain. Panic surged through him. He scooped her into his arms and raced through the rain to the hospital, his heart pounding with fear. Hours passed in sterile hallways, every minute feeling like eternity. When the doctor finally came out, Daniel braced for the worst. Instead, he was told that both mother and baby were safe. But stress had nearly cost her everything. Sitting beside her hospital bed, Daniel finally broke down. "You can't do this alone, Sophia. Whatever it is you're hiding, you don't have to fight it by yourself anymore." His voice cracked with emotion. Tears slid down her cheeks. She couldn't keep the secret any longer. She told him everything, about her company, her wealth, the empire she had built with her own hands. She expected him to look at her differently, maybe even walk away. But Daniel just sat there stunned, and then he laughed softly. "You think money changes who you are? To me, you're the girl I found crying at a gas station. The one who makes Lily giggle until her cheeks hurt. That's all that matters." Sophia broke then, not from weakness but from relief. For the first time in years, someone saw her, not her success. 2 months later, Sophia gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Daniel was there holding her hand through every contraction, whispering strength into her ear. Lily became a proud big sister, showering the baby with love. Their little home, once filled with silence, now echoed with life, laughter, and second chances. Life wasn't magically easy. Daniel still worked long hours. Sophia balanced motherhood with her company, often from the kitchen table. But together, they faced every challenge with resilience. Their love wasn't built on wealth or appearances. It was forged in brokenness, in the choice to show up for each other when it mattered most. And slowly, what began as an unlikely meeting at a gas station grew into something deeper, a family.